Shibui, the most exclusive brand in our range. I would like to tell you the story about how the name came about. Darcy, the founder of Shibui, she was walking over the market in Tokyo in Japan with her Japanese friend. And there she saw this very expensive, very beautiful bag. And she said, oh, I have to have this very beautiful bag. And her friend goes like, oh, Shibui. And that means in Japanese, elegant, expensive, with a hint of bitterness. So I interpret it like, oh, it's too expensive for me, but I have to have it and I will regret it one day, but nevertheless, I'm going to buy it. Something like that. And this is what Shibui is. It is probably the most expensive brand in our range, but it is worth it. It has those very, very elegant material compositions. And yeah, from super, super fine alpaca, baby alpaca, to a wonderful silk and cashmere's, recycled linen, very interesting textures. And the whole concept of the Shibui designs is that you should mix one yarn with the other, or even 3 yarns, either working with 2 strands or 3 strands. And that's why these 12 yarns come in these wonderful colors, all of them. I will go down a little bit so that you can see them. So the idea is that the knitter becomes creative by herself or himself and combines different yarns in the same color or the same yarn in different colors. And this is also the base of the Shibui designs and the patterns, that very often, I think most of the patterns are worked in at least 2 different yarns. And what is the good part of and the innovative part of this concept is, on the other hand, the challenge for the retailer, because you cannot just take on one of the yarns in some of the colors, because then you cannot follow the design concept. So you really need, let's say, 3 or 4 yarn types in most of the colors in order to at least be able to use some of the patterns if you don't want to make some yourselves. So for a retailer, first of all, what you should know is that the philosophy of Shibui is that they don't sell to online shops only. So if you don't have a brick and mortar shop, you will not buy Shibui from us. And I think this is a very good philosophy, because Shibui says we only want to see our yarns in shops where there's somebody who can really explain the concept and who can really inspire the knitter to work with the yarn as it deserves. But of course, we, as your distributor, we understand that this is kind of an investment. If you want to take on, let's say, 4 yarns and all these colors, if you look at our price list, you will see it's not on the cheap side. Yes, it's a challenge. We have tried to make it a little bit easier for you by reducing the minimum quantity per color to 5 instead of 10 skeins, like what Shibui normally sells in. We are starting to make kits. Melanie Berg has just published a pattern in Shibui yarns in Luna and Silk Cloud, these 2. It's called Schnee, which is the German word for snow. And that one you can order from us as a kit. It already contains the correct amount of yarn. And then still you have to download the pattern from Ravelry. The pattern is not for free. It is an acknowledgement of the work of the very, very good designer, Melanie Berg. So we, as your distributor, we try to make the threshold low for you to take on some Shibui yarn with these kits. Nevertheless, if you really want to follow the concept, you will need several yarns. But I can only say the shops that went for this risk are happy with it. And if you are a Shibui stockist, this reputation, this image of Shibui will halo to your shop. I mean, people who see, oh, this stockist carries Shibui, they will know you are a very special yarn store. So I kind of recommend this very pretty baby to you.